Amazing. Guys, I love Jim Rohn. I remember when I first got started in the industry, Jim Rohn was actually, this is how we're going to start this call, because I feel like this call really just wraps so many things together. I'm so happy that the speaker that we have on this call, I know Mike and Nancy, they just landed. They were in Turkey. I don't know where they're at now, but they got like 30 plus hours worth of flights. And Mike asked if I can open up this call for John. And, I was thinking about what am I going to play? I'll play some music, or I'll play some personal development. And I thought about that video, because today we're going to be talking about skill sets. We're going to be talking about decisions. We're going to be talking about mindset. And not many people know the relationship that Chairman 100, John Guaman, and I have. Few people do because they've been a part of that process. But I tell people all the time, John was really, how can I say this? One of my first real mentors. And this is when I began to learn that wisdom doesn't really come with age. John's 3 years or 2 years younger than me. And I have an insane amount of respect for this person, because to be honest with you guys, Prime wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for John. When I started building this business, I was 4 months in, I was making money trading, but I didn't have the mindset of a network marketer. I didn't have the skill set of a network marketer. I've done sales, I've done marketing, I've done networking before, but the skill sets required to be successful here are so different. I remember I, hit P2000 pretty much through personals. It was like 47 or 49 personals. I passed some personals off, but I had a TIM-driven business, not a system-driven business. I wasn't personally developed. And, at that time we had the auto trader. For those of you who were a part of IM back in the day, we had the auto trader. We had to get rid of that just due to, laws and regulations and things like that. And I remember losing my business, and I was on the verge of quitting. And Cash Cartier got me introduced to John Guaman. Cash probably called John. He's like, John, I need you to save this kid or else he's leaving the business. And I'm sure that's probably how it happened. And I remember John asking me, one of the first questions is, well, who do you listen to? What books are you reading? And I said, nothing, bro. Like, why? I hate reading. Why would I do that? He goes, well, that's probably why you're in the situation that you're in now. And the first audiobook that he gave me was How to Take Charge of Your Life by Jim Rohn. And the first two books he gave me were, and guys, write this down. Like this, like if you write these quick things down right here, trust me, you already got value from this call. How to Take Charge of Your Life by Jim Rohn. YouTube, 2 hours long, one of my favorite personal development audios in the world. And the two books that he gave me was How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it was Outwitting the Devil. And John putting me in position to receive that information, literally, I know this sounds corny, right? Putting me in front of that information changed my whole entire situation. John made me the entrepreneur I am today. And it's the first book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Second book's Outwitting the Devil, right? And John, being 21 years old at the time, right, literally changed my life, knew so much more than I did. And it was because John knew that if he focused on the skill sets, if he focused on the right mindset, if he was focusing on the things that were going to make him successful in this industry, he was going to be able to duplicate that into other people as well. I love, quote unquote, edifying John, because to me, it's not really an edification. It's like, this is who this person is. Me and Mike talk about it all the time. We really look at our situation very similar to John's situation. John had 6 chairman 10s before he was a chairman 10. He was a P5 with 6 chairman 10s in his business. I'm pretty sure Blas at the time or someone outranked him as well. And every single day he was working without an agenda. He didn't care what leg you were in. He didn't care the size of the call. He didn't care when you got started. He didn't care how many people that got on your team. He just got involved, and he worked and he worked and he worked and he worked. And that's why he's Chairman 100 now. That's why he has tens of thousands of people in his business. That's why we can't do income claims, but on losing days in the markets, he's losing people's yearly income in losing days, right? All because he learned the right skills, he got the right mindset, he plugged into the right things, He invested the right amount of money. You know, I could talk about John. Honestly, I should do a training next Monday. It's going to be Prime Mindset. It's going to be who is John Guaman? And through just telling you stories about John Guaman, that would be the story, right? That would be the story. And so, guys, I'm so humbled and blessed. Honestly, I wanted to do a little training for this first 10 minutes, but I think Jim Rohn, he took care of that for me. So what I want to do is I want to step out the way of greatness and have John hop on here. But guys, I want to give you a warning. I want to give you a quick warning. John asked me on the phone today. We were talking for, 10, 15 minutes. And we were just talking about something, nonsense and some other things as well. And he said, Tim, can I be real with your organization tonight? He said, can I like tell the truth and tell them how it really is with your organization tonight? And so, guys, if John offends you or says something that stings, don't get mad at him. Be grateful, because it's something that you needed to hear. It's things that I needed to hear when I was first building this business. It's things that I still need to hear when I'm building this business. It's funny because John and I will be on the phone and he'll say, Tim, I'm switching from friend to mentor. And John will tell me things I need to hear in that moment to get me to where I need to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out the way of greatness. John, your co-host, I'm going to let you take over. I love you, bro. I appreciate you. The team is ready. Guys, drop some threes in the chat for John. Let's bring on that energy. He's going to take over.
Yo, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is going on, everybody? Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Fire, fire, fire. What is going on? What is going on, everybody? Real quick, drop some 777s in the chat box for my brother, Tim. Drop some 777s in the chat box. It's so crazy. I actually remember exactly where I was in that phone call that he was actually talking to me about earlier. I remember back in I think it was 2017. I was like a P2, P5 at the time. And Tim was telling me, like, at one moment, he was like, bro, I'm ready to give it up. And I remember it's like every single person at one point in time kind of contemplates like really giving up. But obviously it's not really the people that, give up that see the massive results of the people that essentially never quit. And I remember when I was going through that entire contemplation back in 2017, 2016, at one point in time, I remember I gave just Tim at the time what was helping me. And little did I know that one little seed would kind of grow. And I was able to see Tim and he was able to see me grow. And that's the beautiful part about growth, is really being able to have, it's a process that we're able to kind of see on each other. So guys, to see where Tim is at now with multiple different chairmen in his group, along with Mike, they're more than halfway, guys, halfway to chairman 100. So I want y'all to really understand how crazy the movement is, how crazy the momentum is, how crazy the value is from his perspective on what he really has. So let's get straight into it, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're going to be going over a lot of different types of things to really help you guys get to the next level with building the entire business. The first thing I'm going to talk about is like mastery. I kind of talked a little bit about this earlier today. Why mastery is super important, because I feel like so many times people say that they want to build the business, they want to learn how to trade, but a lot of times people don't want to really go into mastery. When you want to get to a professional income in anything in life, you got to become a pro. Okay, if you look at a professional athlete, like let's say football, soccer, whatever it is, you have to actually think about how many people play soccer, how many people play football, how many people play basketball, right? But then when you think about all these professionals, think about the people that are actually on TV now, like at the top 5 or top 1% of the entire league. These are people that are professional athletes, right? So my biggest tip and advice here is like, think about how you can really get into the point of you becoming a master at some of the things that I'm going to be talking about today, right? Every single time somebody asks me, how can I get results? How can I get more results? I always say the same thing. It's commitment, consistency, coachability. But the reality is you just need to focus on mastery. You can't focus on the money. You just got to focus on the mastery. So let's talk about, first off, the 3 levels of mastery, because there's 3 main levels to master something, right? The first level of mastery is cognitive mastery. The second level of mastery is emotional mastery. And the third level of mastery is physical mastery. Okay, so we're going to break these three concepts down as we're on the entire call. So let's break this thing down. Okay, so the first level of mastery is cognitive mastery. This is when you understand your craft, right? You have an intellectual understanding towards something. You know, you've read a book on it. Okay. You've reviewed the information, you've mastered the information, and you are now an expert at the information, which is great. But knowing is just not enough. Okay. The reality is there's only so many times that you can read about swimming, only so many times you can read about the sport, only so many times you can read about trading, only so many times you can read about networking, only so many times you could actually pick up a book and actually read. The learning isn't done with reading. Okay. You don't learn how to swim by reading a book on how to swim. You learn how to swim by getting in the water, right? You don't learn how to swim by reading on the swim. You don't learn about the business by being on the call. You learn about the business by getting in the field. That's really how you learn and master the business. So cognitive mastery, yes. We always say ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice, but knowledge on fire is absolutely unstoppable, right? So number one, cognitive mastery, master the information, right? Have the expertise. Having the proper information and understanding works like tools in your business, right? So number one, cognitive mastery. Okay. Number two, emotional mastery. Okay. This is where you need to feel it. Okay. Emotional mastery is the process of becoming aware of and learning how to direct your emotional states. Okay. I'm going to say that one more time. Emotional mastery is the process of becoming aware and learning how to direct your emotional states, how you feel from moment to moment. All right. This is super important because I feel like a lot of times people don't understand how important their IQ is and how in direct correlation their EQ is to their IQ. I'll give you a prime example. Okay. Do you guys know that 90% of people in society with a high IQ actually work under people with a low IQ? But the higher IQ, EQ. So let me break this down one more time. 90% of people in society with a high IQ actually work under people with a low IQ, a lower IQ, but a higher EQ. So why is that? It's because EQ, do you guys know there's a book out there that talks about emotional intelligence, right? Emotional Intelligence 2.0 talks about how A students actually in the workforce today work for most C students. And it's not because A students, okay, aren't smart. They just don't know how to manage their emotions as quickly. Okay, so my big tip and advice for people here is to understand how to manage your emotions, how to be massively self-aware of how to control your states, right? Getting your mind and body into the state. Okay, when you're in a state of working, when you're in a state of business, you have to operate at a different state. No matter how you feel, no matter what's going on. I remember, okay, there were certain things that would happen in my life and in my business. And even if I was emotionally distraught in that moment, I understood that I had to serve my group. I had to serve my team. I had to serve the bigger purpose. I had to serve my goal. So regardless of whatever happened to me, I had to knock myself in a state, walking straight into an event, doing straight into a training, right? I had to control my emotions. Okay. Tony Robbins teaches a lot about this, but you want to be not reactive to the small things and the small problems. Okay. I mean, you don't want to have a reaction. You want to be reactive. Okay. So that is number two, emotional mastery, right? So we have cognitive mastery, we have emotional mastery, and now we have physical mastery. Okay. Physical mastery is the third type of mastery. You know, the second mastery, which is emotional mastery, it brings you into this flow state. You know, when you're feeling good, when you have the feeling of you working as a six-figure earner, as a six-figure trader, you have to have the feeling of, focus on the feeling that gets you into the flow state. But physical mastery is actually doing the work. Now that you have the feeling, okay, you can now do the work. It's a lot easier for you to go out there and do it, right? So doing it, action, 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 action. That's really the key, right? Repetition, I always say, is the father of learning, but massive action will help you master anything. Okay, 90% of people tend to forget this stuff. Okay, the most important step that is overlooked is action. Okay, it's better than knowledge. It's better than anything else that I would actually recommend. Physical mastery is something that you need to embody, and it affects your sociology. Okay, you need to be taking so much action to the point where you're not even thinking about taking action. I remember at one point in time, I used to have fear. Like I used to have fear of speaking in front of people. I used to have fear of training people on Zoom. I used to have all these different types of fears and doubts when I was dabbling in my business. Okay. But I got to the point where I just took so much action to the point where I wouldn't think about me taking action, right? So let me ask you guys, what kind of work did you have today? Okay, was it productive work? You know, was it work that really got you to the next level? If your business today, if you got paid off the hours that you put into your business, do you truly believe you deserved, okay, that $20 per hour, that $20 per hour, that $100 per hour? Okay, if you want to get paid a six-figure income in this business, let's do the math. That's $333 in a day. Okay, divided by 8 hours, you're getting paid $41 an hour if you're putting 8 hours into this business. Okay, and if you want to get to a six-figure income, let's do the simple fucking math, bro. Okay, if you're putting only 4 hours into the business, okay, 333 divided by 4, that means you're getting paid $80 an hour in the business. Do you deserve those $80 an hour? Are you really putting in that time? Right? Because the reality is, if you're not putting in that productivity, it's probably the reason why you're not getting paid a six-figure income. Okay, that six-figure work ethic, that six-figure skill set, that six-figure mentality comes all before, okay, anything else comes, right? Before anything else comes, man. And I feel like a lot of times people are so focused on making money, dude. The money will come. The money will always come by the person you become. Okay, the money will always come by the person you become. But if you don't, if you're so focused on the fucking money, dude, you're gonna make short-term decisions and forget the long-term effects. And that's the biggest fucking problem. Cut off the distractions, cut off everything that you're doing right now, and guess what? Put all your focus into the business for a year or two. You hear companies like Slack. Do you guys understand that companies like Slack, they didn't focus on the money the first like 5 years? They were not profitable for 5 fucking years. Do you guys understand that? There's a company called, like, it just changed its, I think it just changed its name to Block today. They weren't profitable for 5 years. What kind of focus, what was it that made them non-profitable? It wasn't the fact that they weren't working. It was the fact that their long-term vision was to change the world, to have a massive effect on the world. And eventually, okay, it became a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay, you got to put your focus in different areas when it comes to the productivity level, right? So the next thing I'm going to kind of break down for you guys is certain different types of skills. Okay, I've been talking about the skills forever. If you need a reminder of what you need to be doing, okay, you're probably not taking this bitch serious. Okay, and that's probably why you're not making money. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real in the call. Okay, do you guys understand that success is not the default? Do you guys understand that there's a book? I'm gonna recommend a book to you. This book changed Tim Sloma's life back in 2017. I guarantee it's gonna change your life. Okay, there's one book. It's not even a book, it's an audio. Okay, so whenever you have some free time, actually you do have some free time. Okay, before you go to bed, and if you're actually serious about the business, if you're not going to do it, get off the fucking call, because you're wasting space and you're wasting time for somebody on the call that's actually serious. Okay. You want to pick up this one audio. Listen to this one audio. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Okay. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. What Earl Nightingale basically breaks down in this audio, he breaks down how essentially what they do is they study about 100 men, and they find out that at the end of most people's lifetime, only 1 out of 100 men will actually be wealthy and happy at the end of their lifetime. Okay, only 1 out of 100 men will be wealthy and happy in their lifetime. I think it's only like 2 of them are rich. I think like 5 of them are like somewhat okay off. Everybody else is broke or dead. We listen to that tonight. Yeah, bro, 100%. We listen to that. When I listened to that audio back in 2016 and 17, I understood, bro, that I had to be a little bit fucking psycho, crazy, and different in order to get a different result. If not, I was going to end up being like somebody else. I was going to end up being like the 99%. Like I was going to end up being probably broke and unhappy. It's really the reality. That is really the reality. So I recommend every single person here to go pick up that audio right after this entire thing, right? Why would you want to listen to me? I've only made a couple $1 million. Okay. That's not a lot of money, right? keeping it real, I've only made a couple millions of dollars. Like I've made like maybe, I don't even want to say how much, but I've only made like, 2, 3 mil. What, like that's nothing. Go to the fucking source, bro. There's people that have made tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. And there's a $10 book out there where you can literally read all their trials, their tribulations, their journey, their experiences. They're giving you tens of millions of dollars of value for a $10 book. And you're over there on fucking Netflix, bro, on a Saturday night. You're over there cuddling with Netflix and with Bae. Like, and then you're waking up Monday morning every single day, wondering why you hate your job. Okay. And why you can only put $20 in a gas tank. Okay. That's really the reality. Why you're taking Spirit airline flights, okay, to get from point A to point Z, and your back is hurting, like you're probably pissed at that, right? You probably are super pissed, right? It's really the reality. You're probably wondering why you don't have the Mercedes-Benz and why you have to settle in the Toyota. Why? It's because you're not prioritizing your fucking time, okay? I challenge you to get rid of your TV, get rid of your PS4, PS5, get rid of your hobbies for like a short amount of period of time. And guess what? Listen and read some books, bro. Because trust me, it's going to take you to the next level. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on because I got a little carried away on that one. But what we're going to talk a little bit about today are the 3 things that are going to help you build the business. Actually, there's 4 things. There's 4 main components. I don't know if you guys forgot what the 4 main components are, but let me remind you one more time. The first component we're going to be talking about today is personally recruiting. Okay. He used the word recruit. I'm getting off the call. Right. Not recruiting. I don't like that word. I just wanted to trade, bro. Recruiting's a bad fucking word. Jared, I said recruiting. Damn. Right. All right. Check this out. Every billion-dollar company in the world recruits. Every billion-dollar company. Anybody that's told you that they don't recruit is a fucking idiot, because they're recruiting you to the idea that they don't like recruiting. Okay. People that tell me they don't like to recruit, I'm like, bro, you're an incredible recruiter. You just recruited me on the idea that you don't like to recruit. Okay. Do you guys, what is the NBA? What is the NFL? What is the NHL? What does Best Buy? What does Apple? What does all these companies do? I remember I saw something the other day about, I think it was Microsoft. Microsoft put up an ad to hire cryptocurrency experts. They're right now, Microsoft has put up ads online for jobs to hire multiple 6-figure positions for cryptocurrency experts. There's multiple different types of industries that are constantly recruiting. And guess, you know what happens? It's crazy too. It's like when it comes to the recruiting aspect of things, a lot of times people think that just because that like they're not quote unquote good at it, they like to make believe that they don't like it. Okay, just because you aren't good at something doesn't mean you shouldn't like it. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of times that happens too. But to go back into the subject of things, like personally recruiting, guys, it's the highest paid skill set in the entire world. You got to be able to learn how to personally recruit, not just in your business, but just in life in general. Sales in general, guys, every day we're selling. We're either selling somebody on something or we're being sold something. This is the reality. You're being sold on the idea, okay, every single day. You're being sold on a philosophy or you're being sold on a negative philosophy. Even right now, as I'm having this call right now with you, there's 2 conversations going on. There's a conversation I'm having with you, and another conversation is like, man, should I buy? Should I buy what this guy is saying? Okay. For me, what I did was I sold myself on the idea of these $1 million philosophies. And guess what? They paid me millions of dollars. So this is my entire thing when it comes to personal recruiting. Okay. You got to understand what type of people you want to attract in your business. You can only attract what you are, who you are, and what you think about most. So what kind of people do you want to attract? Number 1, okay, you want to personally sponsor people that have influence. Okay. Personally sponsor people that have influence. How do you personally sponsor people that have influence? You have to have some sort of level of influence. Okay. Whether on social media or you have to believe you have some sort of level of influence. Okay. In person. What does that mean? That means you can command a room. That means you have confidence. That means you have conviction. That means you're unapologetically you. Okay. That's what influence really means. Okay. So number 1, influence. Number 2, you want to find somebody that's coachable when you're personally recruiting. Okay. I look at more quality versus quantity when I'm personally recruiting. Why? Because to be honest with you, I recruited a lot of people in my business, but a lot of them haven't stayed. Only the most highest quality people have. So personally recruiting goes back into, okay, you want to look for coachable and consistent people. Okay. People that like to, with coachable people, you want to talk to somebody that's open-minded, people that read books, people that are willing to listen to the information, people that want change, massive change in their life. Okay. So influential, coachable, consistent. Number 3, you want to look for consistent people. Okay. Because consistent people just in life in general are going to have success in anything, right? Consistency, 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand how to use it benefit. Those who don't understand how to use it, it's usually used against them. So you want to look for consistent people. The third thing the last thing you want to look for, all right? The very, very last thing you want to look for, I talked about coachable, is hungerness. Okay. You want to look for people that are super hungry in the business and just in business in general, right? And when I talk about hungerness, I talk about like desire. You want to have people that have a desire for more. Now, certain people have a desire for more, certain people don't. Could it be measured? Of course, you know what I mean? But you want to look for people that think in the same wavelength as you. You know, what is certain people's definition of success? You know, what do people want? You know, when I have a conversation with somebody, I ask them the question, you know, what do they want? Like, what is it do they want? Like, you know, some people are okay with living a mediocre financial lifestyle. And for me, that's okay. You know, it's not a bad thing. If you want to live a mediocre lifestyle, it's a good thing. It's okay. But what I'm trying to say is I'm looking for people that want to live an above average lifestyle. You know, I talk about looking into people's dreams, but I like to look into people's nightmares. Okay. Don't just look into people's dreams, because we all have the same dreams, but we all don't have the same nightmares. So what I mean by that is that a lot of times people say, hey, I want to go do X, Y, and Z. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. I'm like, okay, what's your biggest fear? And my biggest fear is living a normal average lifestyle. Living a lifestyle where I'm making $1 million a year is like a fear. Like that's a fear to me. And I don't know what it is about it. And it's because I have goals of starting a charity, building churches. I have a goal to travel the world, helping my parents, impacting the world. If that's a goal of mine, that cannot be done with less than $1 million a year. Okay. So think of that perspective, right? That's my perspective, at least. Right. So I'm looking for those 4 main qualities: influential, consistent, coachable. Okay. And also hunger, people that are hungry. Okay. Number 1, personally recruiting. Number 2, this is the second thing that's going to help you build the business. Taprooting. Okay. You're going to want to taproot. You're going to want to work with people in your business. Okay. Like they were your personal. So what I like to do is I like to work through people. Through every dud, you can find a stud. You know, I've met people in my business where, you know, they were kind of duds. They really didn't like do anything, but they knew somebody that was a stud. So instead of me going out there and investing time into somebody that's a dud, that's not doing anything in the business, I'll work with the newest stud that has 2 out of those 4 qualities, 3 out of those 4 qualities. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to train them. I'm going to treat them like one of my leaders and one of my personals. And guess what? I have success doing that. Okay. So taprooting is diving deeper into your organization, looking at your newest Platinum 150s, looking at anybody that wants to really build. I'm a very great taprooter, diving into different networks, trying to expand in different countries like Europe, trying to expand in different countries like South America. Okay. Getting deeper into my business. Okay. Or let's say if there's nobody in your business right now. Okay, cool. Diving deeper and deeper behind people's lists. I'm not afraid to get deeper into my list, because you will make more money with strangers than you will your best friends in this business. So what I do is I decide to go meet strangers through the people in my business, right? I go meet strangers through strangers in my business. That's what I do. And I decide and I have to use my intuition. I have to use my discernment and say, okay, cool. I'm going to work with this person, this person, this person. I can see this person be the next Platinum 150, Platinum 600, Platinum 1000 in my business. He's a leader. I can work with him. Okay. So taprooting is huge. Okay. I remember I used to taproot. I would work with so many people, but I mean, I would work with a certain amount of people in a week. So I would taproot my business in 1 week. I would pick 3 leaders that I would taproot with, and I would work with just directly that week. And then the following week, I'd work with a different group. So personally recruiting taprooting is massive. Okay. You know, Gary McSwing actually has this quote. He says that a customer is not a customer until what? Until there's two customers in the business. Okay. He said that a group is not a group until, okay, your business is driven 4 levels deep. What does that mean? That means that, let's say if you go out there, refer somebody to the business, help them get trading results, you drive that another level down. You help your friend go hit platinum 150. Then you help his friend go hit platinum 150. Then you help his friend go hit platinum 150. And guess what? You're now 4 levels deep. Okay. Does that sound like a lot of work? Absolutely fucking not. It's not a lot of work. It's work though. All right. This is network marketing. Okay. It's very simple though. So taprooting. That's the second thing that's going to build your business. The third thing that's going to build your business is personal development. Okay. Why is personal development so massive? Why is it so key? I'm going to break this down for you. Okay. As a coach in this business, as a leader in this business, all of us here are leaders. Okay. Even if you only have one person in your business, if you have a kid, you're still a leader in some way or shape or form. You're a leader because you're always leading people. But what I want you to understand is, as a leader in anything in life or as a business, you're going to have to shift people's action, right? You're going to have to be able at one point in time to shift your kid's action to making sure that he does the dishes, making sure that he does the work, making sure that he's doing right in school. You're going to have to shift people's actions. But the biggest problem that a lot of leaders have is shifting people's perspective. Okay. Shifting people's perspective. So as a leader, you have to master the ability to shift people's action and shift their perspective. If you just shift people's perspective, then there's a problem because the action is missing. If you only shift people's action, then there's a problem because then guess what? Their thinking is missing and you're left with the thinking. They're unable to think for themselves. So what did I do in the beginning of the call? I tried to give you guys some perspective. I try to share my experiences. Why? Because I want you to shift your perspective. Okay. I want to just paint the perspective that was painted to me a couple years ago, right? That's what I'm trying to do on the call. That's all I want to do. I don't care if you guys take action or not. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. I care about shifting your perspective more because I understand that when one perspective is shift completely, when your mind expands, it can never retract. It's shifted forever. I quit network marketing actually for 5 months. Back in 2016, I was out of the industry and I found myself coming back to the industry because my perspective was so shifted. I could never not go back into a normal lifestyle. I was in the dorm rooms and I was 18 years old and I was going to parties. I was getting drunk. I was getting wasted. I was smoking, that whatever. And at the end of the night, when everything stopped, I'd be like, damn, bro, network marketing though, my perspective. Like I was thinking about Jim Rohn. I was thinking about Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. I'm like, damn, bro, I shouldn't be doing this stuff because my perspective was shifted and it can never be unshifted. I was like, man, I shouldn't be doing this stuff, bro. Like, this is not it, bro. I should really take this business stuff serious. So I came back into the industry. So as a leader, guys, I think personal development is such a massive thing because you have to pour into you heavily and develop your understanding, developing your self-awareness. Life in general, guys, is like a video game. Okay. And what do I mean by that as a video game? I mean that, guys, life is going to throw different things at you. That's going to take you to different levels. And if you fail to, be aware of the things or be aware of the lessons that life is throwing at you, you'll never get to the next level. In some shape or form or how right now, you guys are being taught something. Okay. Let's say life is throwing certain things at you, to help you become more confident, help you become a little bit more courageous, helping you to become a little bit more skill orientated. For me, when I look at my journey, from going from broke to making, over $1 million a year, I remember that I had to learn different things at different levels. The things I had to learn at 6 figures were completely different from the things that I had to learn from 6 figures a year to multiple 6 figures a year, from multiple 6 figures a year to $1 million a year. There's multiple different things that you need to learn, like skills, not just skills though. It might be also principles. It might be something spiritual. There's something right now, something you're uneducated about that is holding you back from making another $1 million a year. And you have to educate yourself on that. But where does that education come from? It comes from self-awareness. How self-aware are you of your pros? How self-aware are you of your cons? How self-aware are you of certain things in your life right now that are holding you back? So let's do this exercise real quick before we close this off. Right now, I want you guys to write down 3 things right now that you're holding yourself that for a fact are holding you back from getting to the next level. And those things. The mind is such a powerful tool. 95% of the time we're operating subconsciously, but your mind already knows what's holding you back. It might tell you immediately, to be more organized. It might be telling you immediately to be more confident. It might be telling you immediately, I need to be doing this, because your mind already knows. I need to be more structured. You know, for me, a lot of the issues I had in my business was my lack of structure. My lack of structure killed me in college. It killed me in high school, and it was killing me in business. But the moment I became a little bit more structured in business, I was killing it now in my business. And I realized that that's what life was trying to teach me. It was why I was stuck at P2 for such a long time. You know, when I was at P5, I realized that I really didn't have the skills. I wasn't really a professional in the business. So what did I have to do? I had to gain the skills. I had to practice the skills. I had to learn the skills. And then I had to master the skills. And guess what? As I started growing in that aspect, I started leveling up because I was able to teach the skills correctly and also give my experiences from those skills. And then guess what? That would be multiplied. From chairman 25 to chairman 50, I had to learn the power of really duplicating leaders. Okay. What kind of conversations I was having with leaders, how to properly speak to leaders, how to properly, you know, and then at chairman 100, now I'm dealing with another level of my own, right? So every level, you're going to have a lesson attached to it, okay? However you want to see it or not, you need to be aware of that lesson. Trust me, it's going to get you to the next level. So third thing is going to build your business, personal development. Last thing is people development, okay? Why I put personal development first is because you're going to have to learn how to develop people. Developing people is a lifelong skill, okay? But a lot of it, like in very simple terms, it starts with shifting the way that people think. You know, one thing that Cruiser actually made me aware of, and you know, it's crazy. I heard this quote before, and it says that, you know, the student, the mentor finds the mentee, but the mentee activates the mentor. Right? The mentee activates the mentor. And there's one time I was talking to Cruz and he like activated me. I was like, damn, I didn't even know I was doing that subconsciously. I remember when I would have conversations with my leaders and certain leaders in my business, and I would just hear the way they thought. And it didn't really align with my thinking. And I would have to question their thinking. And that's what I did a lot, you know, with a lot of people that I was developing. I was like, why do you think that way? Or why are you thinking like that? Like, why is your thinking patterns this way? And I would realize that a lot of people's thinking patterns was either operating out of fear or operating out of scarcity, not operating out of abundance, not operating at $1 million level. So question not just your thinking, question your team's thinking. Apply pressure to force them to think bigger. Apply pressure to force them to think faster. Apply pressure to force and shift their thinking on a consistent basis. That's how you develop people in the long term. Okay. Apply pressure. Listen, guys, sometimes I can be, okay, a little bit of a ass. Okay. Sometimes I can be a little aggressive. Sometimes, okay, sometimes people don't like the way that I talk. Okay. The way that I swear, the way that I do things, but I'm doing this because I have to be the bad guy to apply pressure. Okay. Whether you love me or whether you hate me, I want to make sure that you're winning with me. Okay. Whether it takes you loving or hating me, I just want to make sure you win. So what do I have to do? I have to keep it raw. I have to keep it real. You know what I mean? Remember, Earl Nightingale said that only 1 out of 100 men and women in their lifetime will live happy and wealthy lifestyles. I want you to be that 1 in 100. In order for that to happen, I got to apply that pressure, and I got to apply that pressure in order for you to make changes in your life. Right. So at the end of the day, your business is a reflection. Your business is just a reflection of your personal life. Okay. Some of y'all don't want to hear that, but your business life is a reflection of your personal life. There's no such thing as a business problem. It's just a personal problem. So in your business today, you can look at it right now and you might be like, well, I'm doing great or I'm doing bad. It's just a reflection of your personal life, because your personal beliefs and your personal habits now are being applied in business. And now you're getting a real reflection of what your personal life really is like. So shift your personal life, guys, and your business life will completely change, completely shift. I appreciate y'all for hopping on board. I'm going to pass it back to Tim for him to take it away, but I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
John, thank you so much, guys. Make sure to show some love to John on Instagram, post a story, whatever it may be. Guys, don't just take the information that you learned from this call and keep it to yourself. Go out to someone who wasn't on this call, share this information, share something that you thought of when you thought of them when you were writing your notes down. Let's kill the rest of the year. We got 30 more days. If you guys need anything, I'm going to put this recording up on YouTube. I'll get it out to y'all tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Chat soon.